Hi, I'm out here in a baseball field not far from my home, and I wanted to take this chance to do a quick video to illustrate the whole sequence of the 4 skills and the process of using them. So the important thing to notice will be the process I go through, the skill steps I'm at. Here is a set of 4 prints. And then there's a longer space and some more. So the objective is to figure out which species made this print. To do that, now that we've observed the prints, we're going to select first the geometric shape to think about. I rely on 6 general geometric shapes. A circle, which is characteristics of cat and fox and some really small dogs. An oval, which is common for a lot of canine species and rabbits. An oblong, which is pretty common for hind feet of raccoons, for bears, for people. Heart-shaped, which is pretty characteristic of deer. Star-shaped, which is like a possum front paw, and human hand shape. These I would call mostly oval. Back here you can see where the animal slid, so that makes it look oblong, but ignoring that, that's an oval. The second thing to select is anatomical features. And starting from front to back, I can see claw marks here and here and here, and I see them in all of these tracks. I see toe pads. I see toe pads, which are right there. I see a metacarpal pad. Sometimes for digitigrade animals, reference book call this a heel pad, but it's really a metacarpal pad or a palmar pad. I'll talk more about that in a later video. And behind there, I see no evidence of any other pads behind the metacarpal pad. Now, the process I use in identifying the track is first eliminate possibilities of what it could be down to just one. Secondly, confirm that hypothesis by adding up all the evidence you have. And thirdly, and this is really important when you're in unfamiliar territory or with tracks you're not familiar with, is what I call contrary confirmation, which is the process of arguing yourself out of your hypothesis so that you can eliminate the possibilities or likelihood that you're wrong. So first, elimination. We know we have oval 4 toes with claws. Oval eliminates possum, coon, deer, bear, at least those, right? 4 toes eliminates the weasel family, the raccoons, badgers, and things like that. With claws, that eliminates the cat family, which also has 4 toes, but the claws very rarely show. And we saw a metacarpal pad, so although rabbits have 4 toes in front and 4 toes in back, this can't be a rabbit track for at least 2 reasons. One is the pattern, which we haven't covered yet, is too big. 2, the tracks are way too big. 3, that metacarpal pad shows, and in rabbits, because their feet are all furry, you don't see a nice distinct metacarpal pad. So what does that leave us with? dog family. Now in the dog family, we've got foxes, wolves, coyotes, domestic dogs. Around here, we don't have jackals and hyenas and things like that. I'm going to eliminate foxes because I know from my field reference notes and having seen tracks before that this is way too big for a fox track. Secondly, I'm going to eliminate wolves because we don't really have wolves around here, and these are a bit too small except for maybe a really young wolf. So that leaves me with coyote and dog. And of those, I'm going to eliminate coyote for a couple of reasons. One reason I'm going to eliminate coyote is that the track is too wide and oval. Coyote tracks tend to be a lot more streamlined. Secondly, coyote tracks tend to show the middle two claws most frequently and often don't show the two outer claws. And these tracks all show all four claws. Another reason is that with a coyote track you can often make an X like I did with these two dried pieces of grass, and it won't touch any, it won't cross any of the pads or go between the toes. But as you can see here, the X goes right through the toes. As I go about this process, recall that we've already selected geometric shape and anatomical features to get this far. The third item to select is size. And I'm not going to select measured size, I'm going to select comparative size, using this little stick, which is a mini version of what you'll hear called a tracker stick. And I'm going to apply this to the tracks to measure width and length. If this were a track, looking at it from a side view, the part you want to measure is from here to here. Not from here or there or here or there, because as you can see even in these tracks, age has caved in the walls. The original substrate was very moist, so there was a lot of slopping and distortion going on. So this is what I'm going to be looking at, this floor of the track. So width-wise, as you can see from the green and the pink, that's the width, and the length, I'm including the toe, goes from the blue to the pink. Let's look at the second track. This fits width-wise or lengthwise, and it fits width-wise. Third track doesn't quite fit lengthwise. Third track is smaller, shorter. Doesn't fit widthwise. So this third track is shorter and narrower. Fourth track. It's harder to see on camera because of all the caving in that's happened. But the length is shorter, and you can see the width is narrower. It doesn't come out to the green line. I've marked each of those prints with a little flag. The red flags are the front paws. The green flags are the rear paws. How did I know that? I knew that because my field reference notes, hint hint, said that front tracks of canines are generally larger than rear tracks. So looking at our fourth thing, the track pattern, we have the front foot hit, the left front foot hit, the right front foot hit, the right rear foot hit, and then the left rear foot hit. And that's, when you translate that pattern to the terminology of animal gaits, that's called a gallop. So now for some contradictory confirmation. I could say, yeah, but coyotes also gallop, so it could still be that. And that's true, even though I eliminated it earlier because of anatomical details. However, when I look around, I see still more evidence of this galloping critter, including the fact that the same measurement tracks go out that way as came back this way. And there's lots of funny prancing around, as you can see from all the soil movement here, in all sorts of different directions. So I'm going to use that information in this interpretation skill, which I got, of course, from field reference notes, hint, hint, to eliminate, to confirm that it's common dog, a domestic dog, not a coyote, because this kind of a pattern of running out, running back, and prancing around in circles is pretty characteristic of a dog being walked in the field by a human, but it's not very characteristic at all of coyotes. So the greatest probability is that it's a domestic dog. So now to the conclusion part. Conclusion 1, it's a domestic dog. Conclusion 2, what made the prints? These prints are easy. An oval-shaped paw with claws made the prints. Now it may seem silly to go to that level of answering what, but as you're tracking, you'll find situations in which all you have is that, and you have to be able to say, ah, a metacarpal pad made that, or a claw made that little dent with a piece of earth falling back in it. So that's why you want to get good at remembering to not skip the step of saying what made the print. So if that's what made the print, who made it? You know the conclusion. A domestic dog. How did the dog make it? That we answer with our flags. Made it by coming down left front, right rear, left rear. Where did the dog come from? Well, there are prints going out and prints coming back, and then all of those prancing around prints. So my conclusion is the dog came down attended by a human. Otherwise, why would he go out and come back? Something caught the dog's attention over that way, to which he ran. Maybe it was a frisbee, maybe it was, who knows. Eventually it then came back to the owner, where it pranced around. That's where it came from, and where it went to, where is it now? I have no idea. When? These were made when this ground was very soft. The last time this ground was soft was a little over 10 days ago, when we had high temperatures and very light rain. Since then the ground's been frozen. So when? At least 10 days ago. So Why did the dog make these prints? What was it doing? As I mentioned earlier, my best conclusion is came down with the owner for a walk and it was distracted. Maybe the owner threw a frisbee. It went over there. Owner called it back. He came back there and pranced around. The reason it made this particular set of tracks or prints is that it was being walked and it was playtime. Well, this wasn't as organized as I wanted it to be, but I'm cold. So there you saw the 4 basic skills: observe, select, interpret, and conclude. And you saw the process of get a hypothesis, confirm the hypothesis, and do contrary confirmation. Try to argue yourself out of it. And you saw that thinking process. You saw 6 shapes, and you picked up a couple techniques on how to mark tracks so you can understand the pattern better. So your fieldwork assignment is go out and do exactly the same thing. It doesn't matter whether you do it on a domestic dog or a wildcat or a bear or a rabbit or a mouse, whatever you've got. Just go ahead and do it, and take the time to make field reference notes before you go looking so you know what to look for and how to interpret it. And take the time to do all these little steps that you just saw me go through, because that's how you'll build your expertise. So that's it for now. Do this as many times as you can, and the next video I'll go into that issue of foot anatomy details. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it, hope it's useful, and I hope you're out there getting your dirt time and building your skills. I'll see you on down the trail.